Hey there. Let's talk about college basketball and NBA and the algorithms that I've created for both sports. And we'll discuss some things because I was asked about NBA and decided to talk about NBA and prepare NBA for tomorrow. So what we're going to start with though is college basketball. Yet another day. Overall, we're 14-3, but of course, games above 20% margin, of which there were five of them, with a few teams injured, all still won. Um, I don't think hardly anybody really even made this close. Actually, the Tulane game went to overtime with the injuries here, but they still ended up winning by a bunch. But look at this, very nice. Top 10 games win. Youngstown State loses on the road. Understandable down here at a lower margin. Basically, any of these games were supposed to kind of be toss-ups anyway, but it's nice to see something like Purdue win up here pretty convincingly, I believe, at a reasonable line. And Iona does not cover against Rider with these injuries, so that's good. You took Rider plus the points wins. All this wins, and then St. Peter's loses. You get way down here, and it's a little mixed, but this is an excellent day top down. Once again, profitable with these games up top and running with 10 wins in a row at the top on Sunday. Way to go, college basketball. Now, asked about NBA. So I prepared NBA. The NBA file, this is probably year number 3, I believe, of the NBA file. And it is it's pretty good. It's pretty good. I did not prepare Sunday's results, but I did set up a table for Monday. And what you get in the NBA algorithm when you read it here and how to understand it is you've got the team name and you've got their health percentage. So they're going to have some injuries. And you have an injury table where you can look and start to see what types of injuries they are, if people are out or if they're game time decision. Like the Hornets have a lot of people that are game time decision injuries. So maybe they're not as injured as they look. There's some stuff buried in that number. But overall, we're showing at least partial injuries here. And so what's nice to see about this is that you get a really clean look at the game and it makes things really obvious. So the Lakers are a big favorite, but they have some injuries. So the line is bad. And while the margin is really good here, it's important, just like in the college basketball file, it's important that the margin in the NBA file is high. They're probably going to win this game, but tough to bet. And the injuries are below 90%. So I would say that it's not strong enough. However, the Clippers are strong enough. Clippers are healthier than Atlanta. This is only minus 146, and they have a 21% margin. So this is clearly the top pick from the NBA algorithm for Monday. Here you have a bad line with the Pelicans, who probably also win, but this is a bad line and difficult to wager on, the way the odds makers have set that. Here you have significant injuries for the Sixers and the Mavericks, but really for the Sixers, makes this very difficult to play anybody with all those injuries. Maybe an under in a game like this with a lot of injured players, that's something that you can look at. I think that lack of starters does result in lower scoring games, but we'll have to test that out longer term. There are over-unders. I thought I had over-under stuff in here, but I guess I don't. I can add a table with over-under information to this eventually. But just looking at winners, which is really what you're supposed to look at, you've got a really difficult game to pick, bad line. It's really just the Clippers right now so far. Now you have Cavaliers, not as healthy, but still pretty healthy. The line's not great down here, and at only 8% margin makes this difficult to play as well. And then the Warriors against the injured Nets at an underdog line. Because there's an underdog line here, this might make sense for a straight bet in NBA. But really, it's only the Clippers is the most solid thing this has. And the Clippers are probably going to win. You see a team with a margin like this. For example, you can simulate today's game. There's one going on right now that I have on in the background. It's the Trailblazers against the Nuggets. And I'm going to call it a tomorrow game just so we can show it real fast. but it's going on right now. What's cool about it is right now the score is 102-91 Denver with 6 minutes left. So where does that game? That game actually shows way up here. Look at this. The Nuggets supposedly are supposed to crush this game. And the algorithm had them winning this game 118-104. It's actually somewhat on track for something like that. It's now 102-93. We'll see, but it does really good things. So I don't know what their line was, but it's just it is a good file. Basketball is a great sport to estimate with the algorithms because there's a lot of data and a lot of points. And there you go. That's NBA. So I'll put that up for sale on kenbraverman.com because there's a lot to talk about. And it does awesome things. You can also, one more thing I'll finish on with the NBA file. There's a macro in this file. It's really cool. And when you run this macro, you get a table of 100 different sample results at different distributions. And what it shows here in this rating is kind of how strong it thinks these teams are in different scenarios, with totaling up these points and totaling up this is like an average margin, running a bunch of different scenarios that I have in here, a bunch of crazy scenarios, like all types of different ones. And so what that does is it really shows you like in which combinations, it won the most. And you can see that the Clippers are up here as a number 2 pick, really, of all the possible picks that are here in the game, because they win in all these combination strings. They win in 100. They win in every single one. And it ranges from like 10 to 20% that they're margin, but it's just they're so strong in every scenario that's what ends up creating something like a team at a 20-something% margin. There's just a wealth of information you can run and simulations you can run with this thing. It's really cool. Like you can see there's 7 teams on here and there's only 6 games. So it says that in maybe one scenario or two scenarios, maybe we'll see. It does have the Nets barely winning that game, but they're super injured anyway. So it's actually more than that. Yeah, it was in 5 scenarios, you ended up getting a win somehow out of the Nets. But it's just amazing what you can do with this. So yeah, I got asked about NBA, and yeah, of course I have an amazing algorithm for NBA, and it works pretty well. I've had people send me messages about this one where they ran it for the whole year, and they sent me a history of how it did in all the games, and it had a solid win percentage, and it's a profitable percentage. So when you see teams up here with margin, you end up picking them to win. The Clippers are probably going to win on Monday. We shall see. All right. Good luck, everyone. May all your picks be winning. Go to kenbraverman.com, pick up copies of these algorithms, and then follow the how-to tutorial videos that I've posted about how to update them in conjunction with a subscription to RotoWire. You'll need stats to feed them. And there's a subscription you can get with them that's like $9 a month or $10 a month or something like that, and it'll get you everything you need in all the sports to do all the algorithms that we do. All right, good luck. May all your picks be winning.